Hello and welcome to Tim's BMW Repairs and Information, where we got a little job today. Got a little scuff on the skirt and I've no idea how it got there. Didn't come off when I washed the car, didn't come off when I used normal polish. So we're going to rotary polish it today, and I've got a new rotary polisher. It's a tiny little thing, isn't it, from AC Delco. Took me ages to choose one. Now I do rotary polishing on the panels, which I did when I resprayed the front wing, and yeah, that works really well, but it's big and it's heavy and it does tire you out a bit, and also it goes places you don't want it to. So for instance, if you're trying to do a panel like this, then you'd have to avoid the trim. You can obviously mask it off, but as it takes up about that space, it's going to get the corner and it's going to get the trim all at the same time, which is why I went for this thing. Now this looks quite nice, and I've had a few goes with it and it's worked really well on tiny little bits of damage on the car. Fantastic. And it only takes 5 minutes. And the problem with the big rotary polishers is that it's mains operated, and you've obviously got to get an extension lead out, you've got to get the pads out, weighs a ton, and it just throws everything everywhere. It makes an awful mess. So I thought, let's try one of these. This looks like good fun. Now it's battery powered, it's got 2 speeds, got 2 gears, not 2 speeds, it's variable speed. Well, I say it's variable speed, it does quite slow, goes a bit faster, and then all of a sudden it just goes in sort of hyperlapse mode. Not so noticeable in slow speed, but it does take off. Right, so what we're going to use to polish this scratch out, and I'm starting with the very least abrasive, is Ultrafiner SE, and I'm always using 3M stuff. It's the least abrasive they do in this range, so we're not going to do any damage with it. So what we do is we're going to start at slow speed. We're going to do this together. Well, I'll bring you in first of all, show you what the damage is, and yeah, we'll give it a go, see how it works. So first of all, we just need to dob on a little bit of polish. Not going to need much, and of course the less polish you put on, the less is going to be flying around the car at some point. So there we go, we've loaded up, got the thing all ready, so we just sort of smear it over, and then we're going to angle it down a bit at slow speed just to get it worked in. So I'm going to bring you in close. There you go, you can more or less see what I can see. So the scratch is here. Let's start off slow. You can sort of see the scratch through the polish, and you can see if it's disappearing. And that to me looks like it's probably gone. That does look like it's gone. Right, now I'm going to chuck the stuff everywhere. And hopefully that's it. Get some water. It doesn't seem to have chucked the stuff everywhere, which is pretty good. I'm enjoying that. Rightio, just quickly dry it off. Yeah, and there we go. Right, I'll bring you in. Still showing just a bit there. Right, I'm going to have to give that a bit more of a go. You can hardly see where it is now. It's just there. Yeah, very difficult to see where it is. Although you can see it on the camera, in real life it's very, very difficult to see. Now of course this is plastic, the skirt, so you can't put too much heat into it. Put a bit of pressure on the pad, not much at all. I can't see the mark there at all now. Let's go up in speed. I have no idea where that mark is now. And it's certainly shiny, that's for sure. Pad's warming up, skirt's warming up a bit, so that'll do, I should think. Yeah, I can't see that at all. There we go. Right, let's bring you back in again. Just a tiny mark there, isn't there? Right in the middle of the camera there. Right, for that I think we're going to have to go up in grade. Right, we're going to use grade 3 ultra finer. Used to be called Extra Fine Plus. I think it's changed its name now. I think it's now ultra finer. There, that'll do. Low gear. Right, just there it is. There we go. Right, let's have a look, see if we can see it at all. Of all those reflections, it's extremely shiny, isn't it? There's a slight mark there. Okay, because we didn't get rid of it completely, I mean, for me that's going to be fine, but I think I'm just slightly happier if it's completely gone. So what I've got here is 5,000 grit paper. It really does very little at all. Just does a bit more than the ultra finer does. It's really just like rubbing with just a plain bit of paper, to be honest. So you can see a slight change in it. Okay, let's give that a last whiz. And I think that's probably about it. Last rinse out. That's gone. And there we go then, all done. Very happy with that. No discernible mark on that at all. Yeah, marvellous. Yeah, and that's all done with this tiny little rotary polisher. I really do like this thing. It's so good for tiny little scuffs on it, on anywhere on the car. And using ultra finer SCV blue cap one, you can't do any damage to the paintwork at all. No matter how hard you try, it's very fine stuff. Now for this job we had to go through a range of things. The blue stuff worked okay. Got it to a point I would have been happy with, but I thought, well, give it a better go. Didn't get rid of it completely, so we used ultra finer yellow top. So the blue top's the finest, yellow top's the next one, both made by 3M, so you know what the abrasive quality of this stuff is. Almost there with that one, and we had to use 500 grit wet and dry paper, and if that hadn't have got rid of it, we've gone to 3,000 grit. Now when you use wet and dry paper, it does dull the surface, so you have to polish it again with the rotary polisher. Now 3,000 grit is as far as I'd go. I wouldn't go any further than that, because then you can start removing the clear coat to quite some extent. So yeah, I was happy just to use 5,000 grit. And then of course you have to polish it afterwards because it does dull the surface. So a quick whiz with the rotary polisher, fantastic. So yeah, there's the things I used. 3M's Ultra Finer SA blue top, yellow top, 5,000 grit wet and dry, and this lovely rotary polisher. It's just so much easier than the big one. And the problem with the big one is that the peripheral speed, the speed at the edge of the pad, because I have 8-inch pads on them can be exceptionally fast. And if you're using the middle of the pad and you catch something with the edge of the pad on the big rotary polishers, then they can overheat things. And working on plastic panels, no, I wouldn't use that big rotary polisher. This one's fine. The speed that it goes at is perfectly adequate to get rid of these marks, especially in second gear. You can really whiz it along pretty fast. So yeah, very pleased with that. So yeah, that was a good find. AC Delco, got it from Amazon. I'll put the link up. So thanks very much for watching. Yeah, sorry it's been so long since I did the last video. Been busy working on the house for a change rather than the car. And thanks for all the comments. I always try and answer them when I can. Put the thumbs up if you enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time.